Alright, Marvel Rival players, let's go over the brand new update for specifically Season 2.5. What are the new buffs and nerfs? Let's go ahead and start off with Captain America. So, what are his changes? So he's getting a base health reduction of 25, and they're also increasing the delay of shield recovery from 2 seconds to 4 seconds after unleashing Living Legend. And then they're also increasing the energy cost of Freedom Charge, which is the ultimate, from 28 to 31. So less ultimate, less survivability. Overall, Captain America straight up getting nerfed. And then we have some buffs for Doctor Strange over here. So they adjusted the damage fall-off of daggers of Danok starting from 10 meters and reducing it to 62 at 20 meters, starting at 10 and reducing to 80% at 20. And they removed the range damage fall-off on Maelstrom of Madness. Okay, so that is definitely going to be nice. That I believe is the little like AoE that he does, right? Usually I believe it's defaulted to E, so overall this is going to be making him much more potent, especially if you use his ultimate, because that was an area where he did suffer, because remember, it did take a nerf as far as it goes while back, but they also, I believe, nerfed the way that the multiplier works. So he's still like nerfed compared to like how he was when he first came out in the game, but overall I would say he's a little bit better because they adjusted it from 62, reducing it to 80% at 20 meters. Okay, but overall, you guys can let me know how you feel about that. Next up, as far as Emma Frost goes, you guys know I had actually gotten 2 accounts to the top 1%, which is like higher GM at the moment. I feel like this season we're actually running into rank deflation. Like the last time, I know everyone's talking about rank inflation, so I feel like they definitely adjusted it. Because before you had to be at least in Celestial to get like in the top 1%, but now like you get into high GM and it's in the top 1% of the game. So I don't know if people just kind of dipped out, but the player base has definitely shifted up as, of course, everyone kind of has to re-level up their rank. But anyways, as far as Emma Frost goes, this is the character that I'm very familiar with. So first off, increasing the range of the telepathic pulse. Okay, so that's a little bit of a buff. They decreased the value of the shield. Oof, that's a pretty big change over here. Losing that, was that like 20% of it? Going from 400, and it used to be 5. So it's going to be a nerf that increased the cooldown of Carbon Crush. You know, I actually felt like this was actually something that could have been 8 seconds. I was actually talking about like the cooldown is just way too short for this. It's a really good ability, and a lot of people just like don't really know how it works. There's so many intricate like things with it, but overall, like this isn't like that big of a deal, to be honest. They decreased the hit damage of the crystal kick from 50 to 40, so it's a 10 damage nerf, and decreased the extra damage dealt when propelling the enemies into the wall from 100 to 90. I mean, you could auto twice, I believe it's for 140, and then you kick them to the wall, and pretty much it's just like GG. What this will require you to do is basically get another auto. But how it works is if there's any character with mobility, they can get out of this. Anyways, like how it works is most of the time you can kick someone into the wall and then auto 2 additional times. If you go from a grab and you like throw them on the opposite side, you can go for 2 autos, and then you can go into the kick. How it works with these targets that have some sort of mobility, like if there's like a dash or something like that, how it works is if you pick them up, you can get 1 auto and then you can hit them into the wall. And sometimes that 1 auto doesn't even reg. It's better just to simply go for the kick. So there will be some targets that will be a little bit slippery and they will basically not get eliminated by the grab. But I still think this character is still really strong. It's just that against certain characters that have like a ability like a Psylocke or a Scarlet Witch that have the mobility to escape, they will survive it basically. It's just a small amount of damage. Instead of getting your 1 auto and kick, you basically just go straight for the kick and then you just hope, and maybe you can still get it if you just try to throw in 2 autos, but it's almost impossible to get 2 autos in because most of the characters that do have a mobility skill will escape. So overall, it's a nerf to certain matchups, but overall I would say Emma Frost is still a pretty big character. Now Groot over here, so they've changed it, so they decreased the damage of the Vine Strike from 70 to 65. Is this going to change anything? Not really. They decreased the Iron Wall's cooldown. You know, I'm going to be honest, does this make Groot something that we're not going to be banning? Hell no. I'm banning Groot every single time as someone that pretty much just plays Emma Frost. Occasionally we'll swap around and we'll play other things, but pretty much I would say this season on at least 2 out of like my 5 accounts, we're all playing Emma Frost because it's really, really fun to play. So, and also, she's the new hero, so I was like kind of collecting gameplay footage anyways as a content creator. But I actually ended up really genuinely liking the character. However, how it feels with Groot, if I get walled off, it doesn't matter what the cooldown is. If I get walled off, I'm dead, right? And all you need to do is kill the tank once, and you pretty much win the fight. That's how it goes most of the time, unless like, you know, you have a rocket revive, especially if you are forced to solo tank, which I'm gonna be real, I solo tanked a lot when climbing this season. But nonetheless, I think that what they could do is change maybe the HP of Groot wall, because like unless you have like a Punisher, there's certain times where just like you can't bust down that wall fast enough. If they want to make Groot a character where they don't ban it every single time, that's what they need to look at. All right, next up, Magneto. What are they changing? They increased the charging speed of the rings. That's it. I thought they said heavy buffs to Magneto and Doctor Strange. These look like kind of micro buffs. I don't really see it here. Like Magneto is still really good though. He's not like oh, don't play him or now lock in. He's still one of the best because his ultimate one shots a support ult. That's basically what it comes down. Plus it can like stop another like, you know. Oh, okay. So Thor, I actually kind of saw like a video of someone showing this off in real time. So basically what they did is the hammer throw is a regular ability now, and it has a 6-second cooldown. He also gains a Thor force for each enemy hit by the hammer throw, so you can basically get multiple people, but there's a big nerf on it. So I don't use the Rune Awakening that much on Thor. I use hammer throw and I cancel the animation with my auto. It's something where like if you're good enough with Thor, it's a really, really good way to play, and you just never use your Rune Awakening because it uses all of your force up, and then on top of that, it puts you in a position where if you need to be mobile, you don't have it. But at the end of the day, Thor wasn't really something that I was like, oh my gosh, Thor's super OP. I don't know why they're nerfing Thor. It's probably just like looking at win rates and stuff. But nonetheless, I would say this is overall nerf. Even though like you have the ability on a 6-second cooldown, it does a lot less damage. So it does less damage on the throw, cutting it in like almost half. And then we also lose out on another 10 on the return. And I know it's like a small amount of damage. But remember, Thor can't headshot, so he doesn't like have another like multiplier here. And then they decrease the shield value when consuming Thor Force from 100 to 75, and they adjusted the max bonus health to 150. So overall, Thor is just straight up nerfed. I really genuinely don't know why. If you play at the high ranks, Thor's not like, oh my gosh, a huge worrisome, but remember, they're balancing this game more likely around the casual side, I think. Hawkeye, I always think this is dangerous, so they're increasing the base damage of his arrows, so maybe you just don't need as much charge. They reduced the projectile damage of Blast Arrow from 15 to 16. They increased the spell field damage from 32 to 34. Increased the maximum focus from 70 to 75. Increasing the charging speed when aiming at an enemy from 100 a second to 108. And the charge fall off speed to 30. So I guess it falls off faster, but it charges faster. So it's kind of like a give and a take. But overall, I mean, if it's charging faster, I think that's what matters the most for the character. Hela increases the charge capability of the Night Sword Thorn. Oh, wait. Oh, it's because I want to say at like high rank, I very rarely see people like really utilize this. It's more so just like this stun that people like really like to. I feel like, yeah, left clicks are much better. Overall, I would not have believed me if you told me they're just like gonna buff Hela. Like that's just a free buff. Like it's not. It's crazy, man. I was assuming they would nerf like something, because at the high rank this matters, but the low rank, I mean, let's be honest. This, I guess, they just want people to use it. It's just probably not securing as many kills on activations as it would want. Anyways, next up, Human Torch. This guy gets banned every single time too. Reduce the damage of fire clusters, so that's a reduction. Increase the charge speed of Blazing Blast. They decrease the shield value gained from Flaming Meteor from 75 to 50, and then they increase the cooldown from 15. Okay, so the thing is that this is basically an escape tool. The shield value obviously still gives you know, an advantage, but it's mainly that like you can engage on him and then he just gets out, and that can kind of feel bad, or like he can kind of duel someone and then just get out for relatively for free. But overall, I mean, I'll be honest, I never found this character to be that big of a problem, because like if you are a good Hela player, or if you can play Psylocke. Psylocke's actually really strong. I know she's getting a nerf here as well, but nonetheless, as far as this goes, does this mean people won't ban him? I don't think so. I think that people that don't like dealing with him is because like he can do so much burst if he puts his thing out, and then people just don't pay attention to the thing and they sit in the AoE, and then your supporter are like, what are you doing? Get out of the AoE. I think it just comes down to like awareness, but like even at the high rank, people can still pop off with him. Like I've definitely seen people do well with Human Torch. I just feel like his ultimate is kind of like mid at the end of the day, compared to like if you look at like characters like Star-Lord's ultimate. Oh my gosh, that thing can absolutely dominate. If there's not a support ult to like stop Star-Lord ult, or like any of the other like relatively powerful you know, DPS ults in the game. Anyways, as far as this goes, whatever. Like I'm just giving you guys my thoughts on these as well. As far as Iron Fist goes, they lowered the Dragon's defense bonus health conversion from 1.5 to 1.3. They decreased the maximum bonus health converted from the block to 175 instead of 200. Slightly decreased the dash distance of his kick because there was a cooldown on it. They reduced the defense cooldown reduction from Jeet Kune Do from 1.5 to 1. Okay, so I guess this is some nerfs to Iron Fist, as he does get banned quite often as well. Next up, moving on to Iron Man. So Iron Man is seeing a reduction in his repulsor blast and survivability. Wow, time for a suit upgrade. Remove Iron Man's gamma overcharge from the team up. Okay, that's right, he loses the team up and he has a new team up. So they decrease the projectile damage of the third repulsor blast from 50 to 45 and decrease the spell field damage from 60 to 55. Okay, and then reduce the bonus health. Okay, this actually matters for sure, because I was playing this character for a little bit, and I actually feel like Iron Man was a really strong character. Like, before I would have put him towards, like, a little bit more towards the bottom, but like this season, I actually think he's really, really good because of the buff. Now, is this going to make him unplayable? I think it makes it a little bit more balanced. Like, it was almost impossible for most DPS to trade with Iron Man. He could just like walk up to you and just hit the overdrive, and he would just right click, and you literally could not outplay him. Like, it's impossible. So I think that this is more in balance. Now, will he still be winning these? I'm kind of curious to see how this turns out, but overall, I think that this is good for the game, for sure. Anyways, Namor. So what are they doing? They're increasing the cooldown of Blessing in the Deep. So that's his little survivability thing, right? And they are increasing the inner radius of the ring, so he's actually getting a buff, and then they're decreasing the outer ring hit radius damage by 20, whatever. The thing that matters is, like, if you can hit that thing in the middle, dang, it's really good, especially when the support pops ult. And then they adjusted the monster spawn fall off starting at 20 meters, reducing it to 30%, 40, starting at 20 and reducing to 50%. Oh, okay. So I guess that's the okay. So it starts at 20. So and now it still starts at 20, and it reduces to 50% versus 30%. Okay, so it's a 20% nerf on super far range. I think that's kind of reasonable. So I guess you want to throw them closer to enemies because yeah, I guess it was just melting. Next up, Psylocke over here. So we're decreasing the retrieval damage of the wing shurikens from 14 to 12. Okay, that's like, I mean, you still probably one-shot combo, especially with Emma Frost. They decrease the invisibility duration. So like the goal of this was to use it, you get in, you get a kill, you get out. Now you're gonna have to be a little bit closer, so I guess people will be able to kind of notice it, and I think that that's a fair change. I'm not gonna lie, there's times where like the support player, you can't really respond to the Psylocke. If she goes behind and you don't notice her, she's gonna, and she has Emma Frost especially, like she's gonna delete you out of existence very, very fast. So I get that, and I think that that is a reasonable change. Squirrel Girl, okay, they're decreasing the capacity of the acorns. What? Oh, they're increasing. Okay, so they're increasing. So that's a buff. Decrease the cooldown of the mammal bond, and then they're optimizing the user experience for Squirrel Blockade, Tail Bounce. Optimize the user experience? I'm not actually sure what this means. Like, maybe it registers faster. Overall, it's like whatever. I don't think this is going to change the character. Star-Lord, okay, so increase the energy cost of the ultimate a little bit longer. Extend the maximum target range from 30 to 40. Adjust the damage fall off, reducing to 60%. At 40 meters, reducing to 75%. So there's a nerf on it, but they're extending the target range, so you can start targeting the targets longer, but there is a pretty drastic fall off. Okay, that's fine. I guess that, I would say this probably doesn't change the character too much. He was actually able to build up ult very fast because you would Magneto bubble him, and he would go in and hit his little like AoE like Reaper ultimate, and he would just constantly do that again off of cooldown. And on top of that, they actually nerfed the ability for him to get like charge even faster because there's fall off with that skill now. But overall, I still think the character is very good. Specifically, like you play this character literally for the ultimate. It's so good. Storm is actually kind of mid. I ain't gonna lie. They're increasing the damage of the ultimate by 10. That's not gonna change anything as far as I can tell. Maybe it meets a threshold, but I'm gonna be honest. As someone that's played, I think I got like 3 accounts to GM on Storm, and I just don't think Storm is like playable. Sadly, the reason why is if you go to the high ranks, the Hela gonna wreck you. The Psylocke gonna wreck you, and she will farm you off. The Psylocke will farm you off of cooldown. It's weird that she's like a flyer character that just doesn't have mobility, even though she has like the movement speed ability. But like you need like an ability kind of similar to, let's say, like the Human Torch, maybe. Unfortunately, I just don't see Storm playable. And that's coming from someone that really likes the character. All right, Punisher, reduce the fire rate of Final Judgment, the ultimate. The movement slow rate. So from 20 to 10% when not firing, and reduced from 40 to 30% when firing. So 10% extra speed buff. So I know it says reduce the movement slow rate. It seems weird that they word it like that way. Basically, he has a 10% movement speed increase during ultimate. That's the bottom line, okay? That's all that really matters. Then they also adjusted the magazine size of the base one, the single hit damage by 1, and slightly reduced the spread. So Punisher might be something to consider. I actually felt like he was an okay character just because of the turret, but This is okay. I don't see him being like super OP. He's like a really good character for like people to kind of start off and play, and I think that that's a good thing. That they're just making him a little bit more accurate, getting a little bit more stuff. Jeff the Land Shark. Okay, so he's getting a. I heard he's getting a complete rework here. So a new Joyful Splash now deals damage to enemies at 70 a second and can heal allies through other allies and enemies. Damage fall off starts at 20 and maximum 65% and 40% reduced healing per second. So this is okay. I have to like see the new ability, and once I get access, because I am a Marvel Rivals partner, so like sometimes we get early access to the server, and like if we do, I'll show you guys how that works. They also changed the Aqua Burst charge, max 3 charges, 3 seconds per charge. New effect: direct hits now launch enemies up. Oh, so it's gonna be harder to hit them, and increase the spell field damage. So as far as I can tell, spell field damage, by the way, I believe is like splash damage for the game. So how it works is now that you can't really use him like a DPS, you kind of use him to push things away. As far as I can tell, like you're not supposed to be able to DPS Jeff because people hated playing with Jeff that would do that. I hated too. They also changed the effect of the healing bubble, one-time healing over time, increasing the healing amount from 85 to 120 over 4 seconds. They reduced the max charges from 6 to 3 and removed the enemy launch up effect. Oh, this is actually kind of important because this used to counter Wolverine, right? I think that's kind of important. This little bubble that you would, pop over there. So it does give you a buff, but not pushing things back. It's a weird interaction. It's like only a really high rank, like good Jeff players would actually counter Wolverine, but it doesn't really happen that often. Add a new effect to hide and seek. Now it has energy cap max 20 and drains while submerged and restores 15 a second when not. And then they crossed out reduce healing while submerged. Over here, I don't know. Okay, so it has an energy cap, so you can only go into the ground for so long, I guess. That's kind of an interesting thing, as far as I can tell. And then the ultimate overflow now swallowed allies grants health per second as bonus health. Okay, that's actually pretty cool that it heals. I don't really like his ultimate in general because at the high rank it like almost never works. Increase the damage reduction received when taking a critical hit. Oh, so this is a buff. So he has 70% damage reduction. I mean, that's basically like a half. This used to be basically like, that means you would do the same amount of damage, right? Almost. It's like 50% crit reduction. Now it's 70% crit reduction. And then also increase the energy cost. Okay. I don't know. I still don't think Jeff's going to be like useful. I know that's like the meme storm combo, but I don't know if people are actually going to be playing that. All right, so it looks like we're moving into the strategist. So Luna, increased dark and light ice healing from 20 to 22, add a new effect to absolute 0. Now grants 50 bonus health per enemy hit. And then they increase the energy cost of the Fate of Both Worlds. The ultimate, the ultimate's getting increased. Okay, that's fine. I think the duration is what made it kind of strong compared to the other support ults. They reduced the repair mode direct hit healing amount of the 5/5s or whatever. That doesn't really change things. The new team up is apparently really good. After seeing it in the gameplay that they showed off, it freezes everything. I think this one has incredible potential over here where he like freezes everything. And then also the Jeff NATO, I think this is going to be memes. I basically use Storm ult and Jeff's ult, and it's going to suck everyone in, and then what happens is then Jeff eats them after. It's more memes than anything. If you're still playing Jeff, I mean, it might be actually okay to counter other support ults. It's not Luna, because you can't eat Luna during her ult, but overall, how do I feel about this? I just don't want Jeff on my team, to be honest, and I just don't think Storm is playable. In the lower ranks, like maybe if you're sitting at like maybe GM and under, maybe you can do it just for content, but at the high ranks, good luck if you have Jeff on your team still. That's the way I see it. There's a new team up where apparently Black Widow can shoot enemies through other targets. Basically, you can pierce targets. That's pretty cool. The Punisher grants 5% damage, and then Black Widow can again pierce. It's kind of cool. This is the one that I'm actually the most interested in as someone that does really like Penny Parker. It was one of my first characters that we got top 500 with, and I really like the character, but I'm telling you, the new buffs with Penny is kind of mid when you compare how good Emma Frost is. So how it works is that Penny Parker gets like 2 spider mines, and that also one of them deploys armor, which is kind of cool. And then with Rocket Raccoon, he gets increased heal. And then when the team up is active, Rocket's BRB upgraded into a web beacon, so it spawns little like spider mines as well. So like basically melee characters can't kill it easy, but it's still going to be something that if you're really good, you can avoid that. So it punishes the low rank players from destroying the little like revive beacon, which is like whatever. And then the Iron Man Ultron, we'll have to wait and see how this works. Basically, Ultron can like get a beam that heals and damages. Then Jeff has like the ability, similar to Venom's like right click where he attaches everything, but it just heals everyone with Jeff. We'll have to wait and see how good that is. And then they removed all these ones because we have the new team ups. I'm not going to go over all of them because it's just that they're removed. This is one that actually is pretty big. Spider-Man losing out on Venom is massive. That is a very, very big change. And then again, this one, I guess they changed the damage boost from 15 to 10%. And then the Fantastic Four, increasing the cooldown to 25 seconds for that. And then they increased the Gamma Monstro cooldown. Ah, okay, that's going to be... Yeah, that's the one that does good damage, right? The laser. But remember, you get cooldown, I think, on your every auto. And then they also reduce the proportion damage caused by magnetic resonance and soul resurgence illusions. Oh, so it's damage reduction by 30%. I didn't even know I had that damage reduction, because if you play Psylocke and you lock in, you can absolutely one-shot people, basically. It's like, it feels like a one-shot, because it's an instant, like, little burst when you pop the thing and you just left click, right click, and just delete stuff. So I think that overall, everything is still, for the most part, still viable, but the biggest L to take from this is Spider-Man 100%. He no longer has the Venom charge him. I don't know, does he only have a team up with Squirrel Girl? Because he doesn't even get anything with that. It's only Squirrel Girl gets a little web shot, right? So Spider-Man taking the biggest L. Who took the biggest W? You know, I'll be honest, I want to try out the penny, because I feel like getting 2 of those beacons is like actually pretty big. I think that was probably one of the bigger wins out of this patch. But let me know, guys, what characters do you plan to play or not play after this patch? I definitely feel like that Thor nerf was like, it's a nerf to a certain playstyle with the animation council. It's really good, but everything is still relatively playable. Anyways, that's going to wrap it up. If you guys enjoyed it, drop a like. If you're new here, hit subscribe, turn the bell if you guys want to see more Marvel Rivals content. I'll get you guys early gameplay of Season 2.5 as a Marvel Rivals content creator. Sometimes we get earlier access to the heroes, and I'll show you the characters early, just like we did with Emma, just like we did with the Fantastic Four. But anyways, peace out, Rivals.